is the Nothing CMF buds, and I can without a doubt say that when I started using them, they felt impressive. Whether it's in terms of the build or the sound or even the fit, and considering everything, they were actually impressive. But after spending some time with them, using them and basically living with them, they quickly became only kind of impressive. So a common question arises here is, how did that happen? How did it go from being impressive to only kind of impressive? So the one thing I can safely say about these Nothing CMF buds is that they sound impressive. Not the level of impressiveness that brings a smile on a face, but definitely the level of impressive that will raise an eyebrow. There is no doubt that these chunky little buds have sufficient amount of bass, pretty clear vocals, average highs but quality mids and lows. Great sounding earbuds overall, thanks to its custom 12.4mm drivers. But the more and more you use them, listening music on them, watching movies and videos, and basically living with them for close to a month now, the more you also notice some of its weaknesses and quirks and problems. But if I didn't tell you any of that, most people wouldn't even notice things like that. Maybe a thing or two, but not all of them. And as a good reviewer, I have to point out that too. So the volume is the number one thing that I felt was a little bit less on these buds. Also a few times it felt not quite enough with medium to low end music and audio. And every time that happened, I'm back at my phone trying to crank up the volume and check if they are at its maximum. And that happened quite a few times. It's not that they are not loud enough, they are with original loud music and audio. It's just that they are just loud enough with music and audio that originally have medium to low end loudness, if you catch my vibe here. And if it had 10% more volume to crank up, that would have been just perfect in terms of loudness. And that would have also made this a more future-proof earbuds, as any speaker, whether big or small, tends to lose its volume over time. And then that extra 10% of more volume would come in handy. So prepare to lose some volume on these buds over time. So maybe you know this already or maybe you're not, but this Nothing CMF buds also comes with active noise cancellation and transparency features. And it works, just works. So speaking of noise cancelling on these buds, the only noise that I could hear it actually cancelling was mostly the wind noise and humming sound coming from an AC or fan. All the other noise pollution like car horns, people speaking, dog barking, and even people typing on their smartphones could be heard somewhat clearly. But with 42 decibels of depth and 2900 Hz of frequency range, there is definitely some sound isolation. Not quite enough to suppress all that background chaos, but it does create some silence when turned on. I also notice when you are in a situation where wind directly blows towards you, like an open window in a moving car, the noise cancellation turns on and off itself for some seconds, like it's struggling to understand the situation. Weird, right? The transparency feature on the other hand, I feel like works slightly better than the noise cancellation stuff it does, and I could actually hear the clear difference in sound coming out through the speakers better. So as soon as you open the buds case and go through the setup process for the first time, it notifies you to download this Nothing CMF buds app. And believe me, if you wanna have the top experience with these CMF buds, you have to use this app. It's by the way available on both iOS and Android. The app does provide some useful features like low lag mode, find my buds, in-ear detection, and the ability to connect to two devices at the same time. Yes, these buds can connect to two devices at the same time and switch between them depending on which one you're using. The buds does take at least 3 seconds to switch between them, and it's not instant. Controls on the other hand I feel like are not limited in any way. With double tap and hold, triple tap and tap and hold, you can customize any functions on individual earbuds. So that means you get a total of 8 functions that you can set it for, excluding answering or declining a call. So whether it's raising or lowering volume, or your noise cancelling controls, or your usual functions like play and pause or play the next track, it can do it all. And you aren't limited in any single way. And it's even true with the equalizer too. Personally, I enjoyed it living on direct top toe because that works pretty good. But I also tried other presets like enhanced vocals and custom manual equalizers, and it does the job. Somewhat limited in custom mode, but gets the job done if you wanna tune it manually. The only feature that was a total gimmick on the Nothing app was the ultra bass feature, that in reality doesn't even make the tiniest difference in bass even after getting 2 major updates. Also a quick tip, if you do really want to punch the bass up, you can literally do that from the equalizer custom menu, and that actually works. Believe me, I tried that. Putting these earbuds on and off for some time now and using it literally wherever I can, like running with them. Yes, you can kind of run with them, just don't expect the level of secure fit like some other sports earbuds, but for light running, you could easily use them. Now for your general things like listening music for long hours or getting some work done, I can definitely say that they fit exceptionally well, almost perfect on my ears. And although these chunky little buds does have some weight on them, it's mostly on the lightweight side. I mean, yeah, you can definitely feel them after wearing them, but it's not that bad and you can easily go along with them for somewhat long hours. It's not that they are discomforting or anything like that, it's just that they have some weight on them and you can actually feel it when you wear them for more than usual hours. These buds are also IP54 water and dust resistant, and frankly I didn't tested that and just took their word for it. I mean, I did kind of sweat a little bit in them while running, but that's just it. So to sum up everything that we just talked about, I can clearly say that this Nothing CMF bud started impressive with good sound quality, quality build, exceptional fit, at least in my ears, and great app support and things like these. But they also lack on things like volume, noise cancelling, limited manual equalizer controls, the bud's weight, and the things that I have already mentioned. And considering everything about these CMF buds, they from being impressive because of some areas where it lacks behind, becomes only kind of impressive. Which is, believe me, still far better than being good or being average. Also not forgetting the fact that the price at which they're being offered. And I totally recommend them based on the things that I have talked about, especially because of the price. Okay, so that is kind of everything for this video. Also subscribe if you want to see the battery review of this CMF bud that I'm currently working on. So thanks for watching, and that's a wrap up.